Welcome back, Kent Adams and Tom Shrum. I just was asking you before we came back, are the glasses new?
I usually wear contacts, but
Okay, because I don't remember seeing you in glasses.
I was kind of running out of the
Yeah, barely
the
made it here.
just running out of the house this morning too. I've just been kind of running.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
We're busy.
Yeah, well, good. That's a good. That's
it's
a good
great.
sign. Tom, one of the things from McNeice Wheeler,
Right.
and you didn't bring any of that Ryan McNeice with you
No,
this
no,
time.
no.
Okay,
We kept him.
okay, kept
locked
him
up
at
in
bay.
the office.
Good, good. Well, we wanted to have that conversation about logos and copyrights and all that goes with that, because to me that's still confusing.
Right.
So let's walk through what we can do, what we should do as small businesses.
Right, and the interesting thing about logos, and this is with all intellectual property, it's all about timing. So the most important thing is to kind of realize where you are at in the process.
Okay.
And with a logo, that's something that can kind of shift and change, especially in the first couple years of your business.
Okay.
And so the first thing you want to do isn't actually to go get a trademark,
Okay.
because trademarking is more when you're using your logo, you're using your
Okay.
slogan, when you have it on things that you're sending out to the
Okay.
public.
Okay.
Because you have to show the trademark office that you're using it in commerce.
Okay. Okay.
So one of the first things you should actually do is get a copyright,
Ah, okay.
because copyrights are incredibly cheap. It's $35 to apply to the federal government for a copyright,
Okay.
and so you'd get that not on your slogan but on your logo.
Okay.
So like with Tom Sawyer over here,
Right.
if you see the whole setup with his little guy there and the fence and
Right.
the paint from the
Right.
famous story.
Yeah, I think there's Mark Twain wrote something, didn't he?
Interesting thing about that logo is it shouldn't be Tom Sawyer. It should be Huck Finn that's painting the fence, shouldn't it? Because
Yeah.
didn't Tom Sawyer trick Huck Finn into
Well, I think
painting the
he's.
fence?
I think he's standing there giving orders, isn't he?
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you would go out and you would copyright that drawing,
Okay.
and then when you start using it in commerce, that's when you go out and get your trademark.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that the copyright can be used for.
And getting the copyright and all of that for the and your logo isn't a matter of taking someone else's and using it. It's
Right.
an original. Right. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
Because
and-
you can find a lot of Tom Sawyer drawings and those kinds of things from over the years.
Right, and that's why copyright fits in really well with logos, because when you're a business, you want your logo to stand out, to
Right.
be different, and to really identify you. You don't
Right.
just want another M with a circle around it.
Okay.
You want something kind of new and interesting
Right.
that people will remember. And most of the time, when you're designing something new and interesting, that means you have some kind of artist working on it,
Right.
or you're the artist,
Yeah.
and you come
If
up.
we get desperate, yes.
Yeah, well, and then you want to protect that, because
Okay.
you can do different things with it. So
Wow. All right. So, what do I need to do for our company? For example, I need to get a copyright of our logo.
sure. So with the
I mean, I'm just trying to put it down to something that maybe people can identify with. And,
yeah, absolutely. So so you have the little microphone deal, and it depends on if you got that from clip art or from something else.
Okay. Okay.
If you designed it yourself, it's probably more like a trademark at this point, because you guys are actually taking
Okay.
it out and putting it into public and using it.
Okay.
So like that little with your app,
Okay.
that little logo with the app, that's a good trademarkable
Okay.
thing that's kind of solid. I mean,
Okay.
it feels like that's something you're going to keep using.
Right. Right.
And what I'm talking about, especially with the get your copyright first, then get your trademark,
Yeah.
is that's when you're really early on. That's
Okay.
when you're at more idea phase of the business. Maybe you
Okay.
haven't made any sales yet.
Okay. And you don't want someone else to jump ahead of you.
Right.
Take one step ahead of you.
Right.
Okay.
And another interesting place to look at it is when, if you go to like a professional design company,
Right.
and they're designing your logo, and you just kind of give them an idea and you pick between a few things.
Right. Right.
Ask them who gets that at the end of the day.
Ah. Okay.
Always, and
Because if it's not clear, they might own it.
they might own it.
Yeah.
And you always want that. I mean, you
Right,
want
right.
control over your stuff.
Right.
And you paying them should be enough that they sign over the copyright to you.
Wow. Okay.
So just, and that's what it is with all these things. Just ask questions, ask people, get it in writing.
Okay. Yes. Have an attorney look at it maybe and ask some questions. So
Yeah.
I think it comes down to just like I was doing now, and that is sitting down with someone from the legal profession and asking the questions. What do
Right.
I need to do so that it's not a matter of you're coming in later and saying, well, Kent,
Yeah.
you should have
Ounce
you
of
should have done
prevention.
this. Yeah, exactly. And I'll bet you get a lot of that in your work too.
Yeah, because
Cleaning up messes.
yeah, and it's always harder, and that's you know,
But better billable hours. No,
I
know
don't
it.
like. I don't,
You know what I mean.
I want people to have a good experience.
Exactly.
Because they'll come back if they have a good experience.
Exactly.
If I tell them, well, you've got a mess and I've got to do all this, that's harder for me.
Yes.
It's harder for them. Why?
Well, you've taken the fun out of it.
Well, yeah.
You know, we got to have some fun, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. What else is going on? What else? Talk about some of the whole trademark, copyright. Anything new on the horizon? Any new judgments? Anything that is kind of making us look at things a little bit differently?
Have we talked about the new Trade Secrets Act?
No.
Okay, so that is a new federal law that's just in the last couple months.
Okay.
And so you've had a lot of state laws that say things like you can't steal somebody's client list when you move a business.
Okay.
So if you're working for, I don't know, in sales somewhere, you can't take their client list and then move and start your own business.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of state laws with that, but just recently they passed a federal law on that. And so if you take something in Washington and move over to Idaho,
Okay.
then
It's gonna follow you.
you
Yeah.
can get sued in federal court, and it's bigger
Okay.
money, bigger penalties, all of that kind of stuff. So, and it's the piece of intellectual property that isn't talked about as much because the things we've been talking about, patents, copyrights, trademarks, those are things you apply to the federal government for.
Right.
You get a nice shiny piece of paper with a stamp on it. Trade secrets are Coke's recipe. I want to keep this secret. Don't let anybody know.
Yeah.
And they're getting more attention now because more people are, they're worried about putting things out to the public.
Yes.
And so they want to keep it internal, keep it secret. But the problem with that is, if it ever gets out, it's kind of gone.
Yeah. How do you bring it back?
Right.
Yeah.
And so now the federal government's trying to step in there and give business owners a few more remedies. So
Good.
yeah, the cat's out of the bag, but the person who took it there's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, and that to me makes sense. It's only fair, because someone has worked on this to develop the idea or the whatever it might be. So.
Right.
Tom, how can people reach you and the others at McNeice Wheeler?
Well, we've got a handy-dandy phone number, which is
Okay.
509-928-4141.
Okay.
And
Yeah, and I bet you have a website too.
yes, we do, of course. And that's McNeiceWheeler.com.
All right, great. And you're out in the valley on
Sprague there.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sprague.
just before you get to what's the street?
Sprague and Bowdish.
Bowdish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, good. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah.
And good to see you with the glasses. And we're going to
Thank
take
you.
a quick break. We'll be right back.
You gotta eat. You gotta watch.